What's going on, everybody? It's Q here from Retro Q Gaming, and as everyone probably already knows, every so often we get a little bit weird here. We get a little bit incoherent, we get a little bit rambly, we get a little bit thought provoking, thoughtful, musing, whatever is your preferred term to use for it. And I think today is going to be another one of these. We do have one other similar video to this coming up in around then, depending on when this gets put out. It may be already out, it may be out around the same time, or it may be out shortly after. But back to the point here. What's got me weird? What's got me brambly? What's got me whatever way this is? Well, frankly, it is a little bit of, I can't say boredom, maybe a little bit of a burnout. Now, not regarding YouTube, I still enjoy doing that, of course, but I find myself very tired of gaming at the moment. And I'm not even sure why that is. I have been looking forward to the middle of June to September slash October slash November. It was originally going to be September because of Cyberpunk, but then with the delay, it's now November. But the main reason for that was when I was sitting back, roughly in let's just say May, I was kind of plotting out what I was going to do with my spare time and all in the summer, and it's kind of space out the game so I know what I'm looking at. And it was pretty much going to be most of June would be Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which I did complete. I believe I finished it in June. But either way, that is done, and that was, of course, a fantastic game because, well, the original is an amazing game, even if the remaster of it is still not much of an improvement. But you throw in one or two other titles in there as well. Of course, there was the usual kind of things like I expected. The Last of Us Part 2 is in there, one of the biggest disasters and one of the biggest disappointments I've ever played. But it goes beyond that. I was still taking out of the modern games out of the equation because I really knew there was only two of them, and that's counting Xenoblade as one of them because sure, it's 10 years old, but it's still a modern remaster, if you will. I have pretty much nothing else to play, nothing new at least anyway, between now and Cyberpunk. Now that has slightly changed because I forgot Halo 3 was going to launch, and that came out yesterday on PC, so that does factor in there. And I'm sure ODST and Halo 4 will be out probably before Cyberpunk, but that's not the point. Those are, I don't want to say minuscule, but those are minor distractions, simply because they are games that I do like and do enjoy, but at the same time, there are things I've played 100 times before. Now, of course, I haven't got a chance to play them on PC like this, but it's nothing new and groundbreaking and whatnot as well. Now, that brings me back to the point here. The only other new game, or if you can even so be called, in the meantime, is something I'd completely forgotten about. It'll be out at the end of August, so about 6 weeks from now. It's Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered, a game I'd never finished back on the GameCube, but I am looking forward to picking that up on PS4 and finally playing it on there and going through the whole thing. Because, well, there's no way I'm going to buy the Switch version of it. So, this leaves me, well, actually, you know what, I got a little bit of ahead of myself, because since I had pretty much June plotted out, and it was just really focused on two games, Xenoblade and The Last of Us, those games are done. And what I had originally planned to do after that, I was going to spend all of my July, my August, and what would have been the first maybe 2 weeks of September playing pretty much nothing but retro games. Exclusively retro games. And it would have been stuff on my backlog. For those of you out there who don't know, I'm sure many of you do at this point, but I have a massive backlog. I have 1,000+ physical games upstairs, and I was going to say legitimately and literally at the same time, and I tripped over my own words, but I literally have hundreds, not figuratively, I literally have hundreds of games on my backlog, some of which I never even started, some of which I never finished, or some type of mixture in somewhere in between. And I was really looking forward to sitting down and just knocking out a bunch of these games. I've already done a few of them. Well, I don't know if one of them counts. It was Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii. I can't remember if I finished it back in the day. I want to say I did. I vaguely remember playing the 3DS version. I think it's a port of the same game. And I finished that on the Wii. I sat down, I played that. And of course, because I bring it up, you might be wondering, Q, the Wii, of all things, why? Well, more recently, I picked up an RGB SCART cable for my Wii so I could play it on the PVM, the CRT professional monitor I have. And I was really looking forward to it because that gave me, my GameCube doesn't properly work anymore, so it gives me full access to my GameCube library as well as my Wii library. And that gave me a big option. I mean, I have maybe 30, 40 GameCube games. I have 30, 40 Wii games. And many of which, I mean, the Wii was shovelware. Stuff was coming out all the time. And of course, at the same time, I was factoring in PC games and 360 games and PS3 games. And of course, the Wii ones, more so than the rest, fell on the back burner, fell by the wayside, got lost in the shuffle. So, not only that, but of course, I picked up a lot more prominent, if you will, GameCube games over the last couple of years when I've been kind of really highlighting my collecting and all as well. And many of them I wanted to sit down and burn through the backlog. In fact, earlier today I just finished Metroid Prime, the first Metroid Prime game. I played it back in the day, but I never completed it. And now I have done so. And I was planning on going Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, and then Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. However, I was also going to factor in maybe a different game in between there just to break up the monotony of the same genre over and over and over. And, well, as I found myself about halfway through Metroid Prime, and even before I started Metroid Prime, and you might be wondering how there's two different ones there, we'll explain now in a second, I found myself really just losing not so much hope, because it had nothing to do with Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime is a fantastic game. It holds up really well, with the exception of the awful controls. But it's a great game overall, even to this day. But it just really kind of disheartened me and hit me in a way that this is not the mindset I'm in right now. This is not what I want to do with my time right now. Now we're going to go back for 1 second and remember when I said before I started Metroid and then halfway through Metroid at the same time, I kind of got the same vibe and all as well. Well, I had the vibe pre-Metroid. Then I started playing Metroid and, you know, I was enjoying it, I was getting into it, I was getting hype, and it kind of made that feeling go away. And then it came back, and it didn't come back for any specific reason. It's not like Metroid got boring, it's not like Metroid got monotonous, or there's no specific reason. It's not like the story lost me or wasn't engaging or anything like that. It just came back out of nowhere for no reason. And I completed Metroid today, and the idea of sitting down and playing practically any game. I mean, hell, just recently on one of my weekly episodes of the podcast, I mentioned that I basically board quit, if you will, Heavy Rain. Now, I realize that's not a proper example, simply because I have finished the game so many times across PS3 and PS4, and even when I got it off the back of a truck on PC, but now it's legitimately out on Steam, and I have it. So it's just so weird, because that again, that's not a great example, but even the idea of sitting down and playing Halo 3, which I probably will play tomorrow. I have lots to do tonight, I don't have any time to game, but that's going to break up a lot of my time. I'm going to sit down and do that. I can get through Halo 3 very fast and I will enjoy it, even if I don't rush it. Well, it's not like I'm going to be rushing it anyway, but even if I just go at my normal pace, I'm good at Halo. So I don't know, it's very, very strange that I could potentially be feeling a burnout, I suppose, even though it's something I've been really looking forward to and really, really getting hyped to do, and really, I don't know, I don't even know what the word, I've already said, really looking forward to it. And I suppose this does have a little one or two side knock-on effect from something I've been feeling over the last couple of weeks, more so than anything. Obviously, just to give you a quick context, naturally, when everyone went into lockdown in March to May, and then everything started opening back up, naturally, I had about 2 months off. When we came back to work in May, I just really was not in the mindset to work. And after a few weeks, I took a week and a half off. I think it was, yeah, about a week and a half off holidays. And it really helped refresh me and all that as well. And as soon as I came back, which was probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, as soon as I came back, it wouldn't even have been then actually. It would have been while I was on holidays. I wanted to do more non-gaming things, if you will. Not specifically more non-gaming things. I wanted to pick back up old hobbies potentially. Not, I guess you could call them old hobbies. I realized it was a terrible time to do so, but I finally had the pang and the urge and the will and the drive to go back to the gym, for example. Obviously, I can't do that at the moment, but that's really been weighing on my mind in the meantime. I want to do that. There's one or two other things that I want to do as well. I can't travel as much now because, well, coronavirus and all that too. But it's part of being away and outdoors and something different, if you will. I don't think it's specifically being inside so much. I've never had a problem with that. And I do frequently get outside, of course. I naturally have other stuff to do in real life as well. But I don't know. It's a very strange one. I can't, even in my mind, I can't put my finger on the exact reason. I can't pinpoint what it is. It feels like it's not so much a coordinated effort, but it's a variety of things all playing a part. And I guess unless I was to start chipping away at either of them, or at, well, not either, but of any of them, because there's more than two, if I was just to start knocking away, maybe I could come back refreshed, if you will, to gaming, that is, of course. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of leave it here. We've rambled for a little bit of a while anyway. Don't worry, this should not affect YouTube at all. I still love doing this, even if gaming has taken me out of it. I may run out of footage, so you may potentially just see me talking to you instead of just every week. You may see it in pretty much most videos for a while, or who knows, maybe I'll record something on the GoPro or just throw up an image or do some meme or something like that. But I don't know. I basically, TLDR, gaming is kind of boring. I can't get into it the way I want to and the way I was looking forward to and the way I used to. I need to take a step away from gaming for a moment, refresh myself, get some priorities straight, and, well, that's basically it. I mean, work isn't really stressful in a way. I am kept very busy, but it's not so much that it's at a standstill, but that's one aspect. I need to keep that aside. That's the work side of it is fine for the moment. The rest of it is what has me, be it potentially stuck from travel. Let me give you a good example, actually, that this may have something to do with it. Before coronavirus hit, I planned to take several weeks off for holiday. This would have been this summer, and I would have taken my bike, my motorcycle, and I would have traveled by boat to the UK, traveled through the UK down to the southeast, hit the tunnel, which is if you're not familiar with it from Europe, that's a tunnel under the English Channel, connecting France to the UK, and I was going to be on the bike just traveling around multiple countries in Europe for a few weeks. And that's something I can't do now at the moment. And I probably won't be able to do until next year at the minimum. But it's all part of that. There's a little bit of, that was taken away, a little bit of travel, a little bit of difference, a little bit of adventure, if you will. And even some of the smaller stuff, even the more local, closer to home stuff as well. Wanted to get back to the gym, for example. I can't pick up any of my other hobbies too much right now because they typically involve other people as well, and that can be a problem too. So I kind of want to diversify a bit. The TLDR is going on a bit, I guess, but that's what these videos do. It also doesn't help. I'm, again, using this as a hobby example. I'm really, really missing the whole convention scene right now. The coronavirus and all basically cancelled all conventions for obvious reasons. In fact, one we were scheduled to go to back in March was actually cancelled the day before it was due to take place because of coronavirus. There was another one that would have been going on at some point in summer, which was also cancelled for it. And then there was usually one around in August or something, which has naturally been cancelled for obvious reasons. And they were some of the best times I always look forward to every year, and I'm really, really missing those. So that doesn't help as well, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to, what do we call them, conventions and all as well when that happens. But again, that at the earliest, we're probably looking at next year, like almost a year from now for something like that. It would not surprise me if the next proper one to get the go ahead was in March. And that sucks. But I guess I can just leave it at that. Want to refresh myself for gaming, pick up some hobbies, do some stuff. It doesn't feel like cabin fever, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for sticking with me on this one. I know these weird ones, these rambly, musy, crazy ones are hit and miss for some people. But thank you.